Well, just when you thought the frenzy over Bitcoin couldn't get any crazier, it did. And today it was a whirlwind. Early this morning, Coinbase, a cryptocurrency exchange, put Bitcoin's value above $15,000. It didn't take long to break 16,000, then 17. Soon after that, 18,000, until it pierced 19,000. But as quickly as it went up, it dropped, losing 20% of its value, just like that. And it all happened by noon Eastern. Keep in mind that Coinbase isn't the only Bitcoin exchange, but it is a popular one, and it tends to trade at a premium price.
So there is clearly a lot of volatility in Bitcoin. There's also a lot of interest. According to data cited in the New York Times, the number of people with Coinbase accounts has gone from 5.5 million in January to more than 13 million at the end of November. In late November, Coinbase collected 100,000 new customers a day. That's more users than Charles Schwab and E-Trade, although Schwab and E-Trade do have more assets under management. Now, Bitcoin is not an easy thing to wrap your head around because it's not really a currency, it's not really a commodity, and it is not a stock. And it's all based on a new technology. So we asked Dominic Chu to answer the question, what is Bitcoin?
The extreme volatility in Bitcoin and other digital currencies is raising more than just a few eyebrows. It's also leading a host of experts to recommend caution before getting involved. So, what is Bitcoin? It's a digital currency that is part of a payment system and record-keeping system known as blockchain. That blockchain is a public record of transactions that occur on its system. Transactions are verified by multiple independent parties, and Bitcoins are awarded as payment for engaging in the complex computer-driven calculations needed to maintain and verify all those records. That's a process known as mining. Which leads to the next question: how do you get and transfer them? The original way is just to mine them, as we mentioned. But trading platforms have emerged in recent years that allow people to buy and sell them, much like other assets like stocks or bonds. Digital wallets compatible with specific digital currencies also allow near seamless transfers between one party to another. And what are the risks? There are a lot of them to consider, not the least of which is the extreme price volatility. There are also genuine concerns about how the value of each Bitcoin or other digital currency is derived. Many argue the only value a Bitcoin has is what someone else is willing to pay for it, not like a company's stock that has corporate profits, say, backing it up. There's also a concern, of course, about how much more regulators will get involved in the future, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Dominic Chu.
Let's turn now to Matthew Green to learn more about Bitcoin and the craze and what you need to know. He's a computer science and cryptocurrency expert, professor at Johns Hopkins Information Security Institute. Welcome, Matthew. Good to have you with us. Where do I buy Bitcoin? Who am I buying it from? And how do I know that the place I'm buying it is legit?
Well, there are a few websites where you can buy Bitcoin. Some of them are a little sketchy, and some of them are regulated. One of the ones you mentioned earlier is Coinbase. They're a regulated exchange. There's another one called Gemini. And then there are a lot of places that are a little bit less genuine that you might not want to trust with your money.
Do you own any Bitcoin?
I have owned Bitcoin in the past. Unfortunately, I owned it when it was worth a lot less, and I didn't hold on to it, and I feel bad about that.
Is it a fraud?
No, Bitcoin's not a fraud. Bitcoin's a real technology. It's a real currency. And, you know, the question now is, are we in the middle of a bubble, or are we seeing an actual explosion of value in this currency? And that's a question I just don't know the answer to. But these numbers are very high.
Mm-hmm. You know, the other issue that we've heard is that it's what do you use it for? You know, if you're just trying to gain on the movement of the cryptocurrency, we saw today that many people did make money. But if you want to use it for anything else, is it a practical solution?
So Bitcoin has two problems. The first is that not very many businesses accept it. A few restaurants have, and a couple of online businesses have, but most people don't use it that way. And the second problem is that the value changes so quickly that if you own Bitcoin in the morning and you try to spend it, you might be losing thousands of dollars by holding it just for those hours and spending it. So it makes it difficult to use as a real currency.
Or you may spend it in the morning when it's worth $10,000 and turn it over to somebody else that morning and it goes up to $17,000. So you feel pretty stupid. You just paid $17,000 for something that you really wanted to pay $10,000 for, right?
Exactly. This is a big problem for people.
So what do you think is going to happen? Because coming up over the weekend, the futures exchanges, one of them in Chicago, is going to launch a futures contract on it, which may change the whole dynamic of this cryptocurrency. How do you see this playing out?
So I think that's the big question everybody is hoping to answer. One of the things that is happening now is there are a lot more people coming into this cryptocurrency area, bringing a lot of money with them. And so these price explosions are kind of explainable when you see all that money coming into this kind of small world. The other thing that happens, though, with futures is that they allow people to bet against Bitcoin. And that's kind of hard to do right now. You can short Bitcoin. And so it's possible that what we'll actually see is that Bitcoin prices start to go down and become under control. We just don't know what's going to happen.
Matthew, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of you. Matthew Green with Johns Hopkins Information Security Institute.